Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Rabbi said, very fascinating sugya. This is a sugya that is very, very important in the Gel and Maisa. Things that happen to us on a daily basis. When a fly falls into your food, are you allowed to take it out and eat the rest of the food? A lot of different questions that occur on a daily basis in Issa V'Heter and eating. And we're going to make it very easy in Geshmak. Omer Shmuel. We're talking about the Gid HaNasha. The Gid HaNasha is the sciatic nerve. It's a white nerve, like a tendon. It looks like a tendon. It's a nerve. And it goes from top to bottom on the thigh, the rear end, the rear leg of the animal. It goes from top to bottom. And this Gid HaNasha we can't eat because when Yaakov Avinu struggled with the Malach hit him the Gid HaNasha. Al Kain lo yochlu b'nei Yisrael's Gid HaNasha. We can't eat the Gid HaNasha. In fact, the Shaila, what happens if you put the thigh into a pot, you make a Chullin, you make a roast, your wife makes a roast, and you forgot to take the Gid HaNasha out? Were you going to throw out this $200 roast? How much does such a thing cost? You probably don't sell it because it's the rear. You sell, you don't sell? Not really. But there are a lot of people who do nikur, they do not arbitrage.
Traver.
I can't get the word so. Travering. They do nikur, they do travering, they take out the sciatic nerve and you could eat it. But what if you cooked it? It's already cooked in a pot that sat there for 2 hours cooking with the sciatic nerve. Now what do you do? What do you do? So the Mishnah tells us it depends. If there's enough sciatic nerve to give flavor to the rest of the meat, you got to throw it out. If it doesn't give flavor, you don't have to throw it out. The Mishnah says an interesting thing. It's like the amount of meat, the amount of sciatic nerve would be the amount of meat together with a turnip. In other words, how do you give flavor to a turnip? Let's say you have a turnip that's 10 pounds. 1 pound of meat gives flavor to 10 pounds of turnip. So Mamela, 1 pound of sciatic nerve gives flavor to 10 pounds of meat. That's halacha l'mishum sinai. Because Baruch told Moshe Rabbeinu, turnip and meat. That's what he told him. Today we know it more as bata b'shishim kind of thing. We have an easier way. We're not going to do turnips. I'm not. Bata b'shishim more or less. So says Shmuel. Here's a question, boys. Here's a question. Mashiach is going to come tomorrow, and we're going to bring a Korban Pesach. Korban Pesach, we know, you don't have to start cutting it up. You have to put the whole thing on a skewer and roast it. What about the sciatic nerve? Sciatic nerve is inside the Korban Pesach. It's going to ruin the whole Korban Pesach. No? So the Rambam says, Taka, you got to take it out. But look what the Gemara says. This that the sciatic nerve, the Gid HaNasha ruins it, is because you cooked it, you made a chont. But if you roast it, you don't cook it, it's not a problem. Why? What's the logic? Because when you cook something, the flavor comes out into the pot. I don't have to tell you. Roasting, it closes it in. It shuts it down. And what? The preserve is not a good word. We need a better word. It locks it in. It locks the flavor in. It locks the whole thing in. So this Gid HaNasha that's also doesn't seep out into the pot. The when you sear it, you roast it. You know, like people make a steak. How do you make a steak? I heard. I'm not a mumcha, so tell me if I'm wrong. You put it on like for 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and then you flip it over. Yeah? Yeah, Baruch, tell me how you do it. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. But why 1 minute? Because you're locking it in, and then you flip it over, you lock it in, and all the juices get stuck inside. That's roasting. That's not cooking. That's like roasting. Grill is like roasting. So when you roast, says this is Shmuel's Chiddush. When you roast it, you don't have to worry about the juices of the nerve going into the chont. Eini, v'omer Rav Huna, we're holding 2 lines from the bottom of Tzadik Vav on the base. V'omer Rav Huna, gedish etzloi b'chelboi. If you have a goat that you roasted with its fat, Asur le'echol afilu mirosh oznai. It's so asur you can't eat any of the goat, nothing, not even the ear. No, you just told me that if you roast it, you lock it in. Now you're telling me that if you roast it, it becomes asur. What's going on here? Shani chaylev d'mifapeya. You know why? Because what's chaylev? Chaylev is fat. That white, I'm going to show you here. So this is chaylev shemifapeya. You see those juices coming down? That red means it's asur. We do red because the juices, the fat is oil. Oil goes everywhere. So what says in Afkamina, that gid, that white string, doesn't have a lot of flavor. It doesn't go everywhere. It's like a bone. It's like it's a nerve. But when you're talking about chaylev, you're talking about fat. It goes everywhere. Ask the Gemara, daf tzadik zayin on the top. Ubechaylev also, or what? You telling me if this fat is also Omer Rabbi Bar Bachana. Maisa, the Rabbi says a story. There was a story in the shul in Ma'oin, B'gdish etzloi b'chelboi, mamish our story, that there was a goat, that they roasted it with all the fats, v'asu v'shaylu Rabbi Yochanan, they asked Rabbi Yochanan what to do, v'amar, koilev v'oichel at shemagia l'chelboi, not a problem. It's not also to eat, it's mutter to eat. No, what's going on there? We asked you a question about Gid Anosh, he said no, Gid Anosh is not a problem. If you roasted, fat is a problem. And then I asked you a question, I said, but Rabbi Yochanan said, fat is not a problem. Keep on eating with the fat. You roast it with fat, eat it. You know what's going on? So we have a number of answers. Answer number one, here's all three answers in one shot. Just schmack what he did here. It's a little skinny animal. It's so skinny that its fat is garnished. It doesn't have all this fat. See? So it's green. That's answer number one. Answer number two is that we're talking about the fat inside a kidney. Now I'm going to show you a gewaldig, a beautiful. We have a shochet. His name is Rabbi Avram Weisvish, big Talmid Chacham, long beard, lives in Manchester. He sends us great stuff. Nobody has this stuff. And then I sound like Trump. Nobody has this. This is the best, the greatest. The third shot is that we're talking about a treif of fish. You see this tummy fish inside that got mixed in with a bunch of other fish. And what you do is you ask a goy to taste it, because you're not going to taste it. Because what if it tastes like a treif of fish? Then you just say treif. You ask the goy to taste it. If he doesn't taste the treif of fish, then you're allowed to eat it. So that's a good trick. That's a trick that the Gemara is going to talk about, that you can bring a goy into the story. Because since when do we trust the goy for anything? Okay. So teretz number one, which is like 5 lines from the top, Ahu kochoshava. You see all the way to the right side. I'm not going to show you. Maybe I will show you the videos again. This is the skinny guy. Okay. This is teretz number one. It's a very skinny animal. Saltish can fat. It doesn't have any fat on it. Kochoshava. Ravuna bar Yehuda Amar Kulya bechel bahava. I got to show you this video. This is murdik. You might get a little grossed out, but it's kedai. What you're going to see here is, this is the kidney. On top of the kidney is in a pocket. HaKadosh Baruch Hu did it so beautifully. There's a kidney, but it's protected, because if the animal gets a zetz, a human being gets a punch, Hashem put like a giant thick piece of fat around it. But what he's going to show you, and this is very important, between the kidney and the fat, there's a plastic bag. Not a plastic bag, we call it a membrane. Okay, it's like a plastic bag. And Memela, says the Gemara, when you cook this fat, it can't go into the kidney. There's a thin layer, this thin. They have it on the brain. There's certain parts of the animal that have a membrane. Humans also. And he's going to show you here exactly how you get to it. This is the upper membrane that he's going to cut through. Boom. He cut the first plastic bag. Look how much it's protected, so much, this thick. Now what you're seeing is, that's the kidney. That's the plastic bag. That's a little membrane. So that's the Gemara's teretz. You take this fat and you cook the whole goat, but nothing happens to we're only talking about the kidney. The kidney is not going to be affected because it has a protector called a krum. Ravuna Bar Yehuda Amar Kulya Bechel Bahava Visharya. Why? Because of the Rashi says Mishum the Mafsik Krama. This membrane stops it. Okay. Final teretz, Rovim Varavado Amar Kilkilis Bilfos Hava. So I showed you this. This is the Kuli one. But look at the last one. A tummy fish fell into a pot full of tuna or whatever, kosher fish. And they asked Rabbi Yochanan what to do. Go give it to a professional, to a chef, an Armenian. In other words, a guy. So let me ask you something. Since when do we trust a guy? Trust a guy that tastes like this? He's going to lie to you. Any guy that sees a Jew, it happened to me a few times, taste the burger, taste the cheese, it's good for you. Rabbi, I promise you it's good, it tastes good. Yeah. So Rashi says very good. It's Mesiach Lefitumai. You don't tell him, oh, I'm Jewish and I have a problem, I don't know. You say, hey, you want to taste something good? Taste. And then you say, no, what does it taste like? And if he says, oh, it tastes like swordfish, it tastes like a dolphin, so now you know that your tuna is not good, your tuna has a problem. Omarava. So based on this chiddush, Mereish, yes, 6 lines in the bottom. Mereish have a kashili hodetanya. In the beginning, I had a problem. Imagine if you have a pot of chont, your wife just made a chont, and you want to make a pasta, matzah Shabbos from Malav Malki, you want to make a milchike pasta in the pot of chont. You allowed to? No, you're not allowed to. But if you didn't listen to the halacha and you did it, if you could taste geschmack pasta with a little bit of a chont flavor in there, then it's treif. Then it's no good. Now listen to this. Truma liyivashel b'chulin v'bishel b'noisen tam. What's truma? Truma is the food that only a kohen could eat. It's a gift. We give the kohen how much percent? The Olam knows there. How much percent do you give a kohen? 2%. He says, Rav, I have a big problem. So let's just do this balpeh. If you have a problem food, who's going to taste it? If it tastes like kosher, it's kosher. If it tastes like treif, it's treif. But who's tasting it? You. You know that, and if it tastes like treif, you just ate treif. So what's the answer? The guy says, Rabbi, I didn't know this. This is the answer. I just found out today that a guy could do it. Because Rabbi thought to himself, how could I trust a guy? Can't trust a guy. Of my time. Oh, so here. So Rabbi asked the question, Truma, but Truma, what's going on with Truma? Truma is just regular fruit. Just it's 2% that you're supposed to give the kohen, and only a kohen can eat it. You, Yisrael, can't eat it. What if you cook truma together with chulin, which is regular food? You got a problem. If you're Yisrael, you can't eat it because it has a little truma in it. Truma liyavasha b'chulin, v'im bishel, and if you did cook it, b'nois and tam. So we have two cases. We have the case of basar b'chalav, which no yid could eat, not even a kohen. And then we have the case of truma, that truma got mixed with chulin, but kohanim could eat it, and Yisrael can't eat it. So b'ishleim trum time l'kohen. I want to know if a Yisrael could eat it. So who's going to taste it? I have a tasting guy. I asked the kohen to taste it for me. And if he says it doesn't taste like truma, so then Yisrael could eat it. If he says it tastes like truma, then Yisrael can eat it. But who's gonna taste the basar b'chalav? No yid could taste it, because what if it does taste like basar? Now you got a problem. You just ate treif. Says Gemara, but now that Rabbi Yochanan told me this chiddush, that I could trust a chef, a goyish chef that has a good tongue, he knows what he's tasting. So too, when I have a problem with basar b'chalav, I cooked pasta in my chon bowl. I want to know if the meat from the chon pot went into my pasta. So I ask a guy to taste it, and if he says it doesn't taste like meat, I say, no, what do you think about my wife's new recipe? He says, oh, very good, very good. What does it taste like? It tastes like regular pasta. Does it have a hint of meat? No. Oh, so now I know I could eat it. But that I needed Rabbi Yochanan to tell me this chiddush. This is very geschmack. Seriously. Because you're going to go away tonight. I don't know how much you're going to remember, how much not. But you'll know 1 or 2 musagim that you didn't know yesterday, and that's all we need today. That's it. What's going on here? We have a Givaldic video, just in case you didn't understand the word we said. There are 3 things that you check. There are 3 things to check if something is treif or not. One is called tam, one is the flavor, one is kapila. What's kapila? We just said. What's kapila? The tasting of the chef. And then we have the final thing of batul b'shishim. So let me just show you the video first. Truma fell in to a pot of chullin. So what do? A kohen can taste it. A kohen is allowed to taste it. Great. When do you use a chef? A goyish chef? Something that a yid is not allowed to taste. When the milk fell into the chullin pot. So now I need a goy to taste it. And when do I use batul b'shishim? When a truma carrot falls into chullin carrot. Now nobody can taste it. Who's going to taste it? It tastes the same. So now I have 60 carrots to 1 carrot, then it's okay. So these are the 3 things that we're learning. Zog the Gemara. Hilkoch. Top line inside the Zayin Omid Beis. Hilkoch. Min b'sheni minoi. If it's too, this is scary words, no? People have trauma from these words. Min b'sheni basically just means like basar b'chalav, 2 different types of food, milk and meat. The hetera, but when it comes to chullin and truma, it's mutter. It's not a basar b'chalav. A kohen could eat it. B'taima. So then you do this guy. B'taima. When do you use the flavor? When do you taste it? When it's min b'shein and mina, 2 types of food, but they're both mutter. But one is chullin, one is truma. So you bring a kohen can taste it. Hilkoch, min b'shein and mina de'eter b'taima, you taste it. The surah b'kapila, if it's min b'shein and mina, that is basar b'chalav, you give it to a chef. Or min b'minoi, 2 types of carrots, but one is truma, one is chullin. The lekela make a matayma. You can't figure out the flavor because they all taste the same. Inami min b'shein and minoi. Or even, let's say, basar b'chalav, a chant with some milk. The isur, the leke kapila, and there's no good chef around, and you live in Muncie, and there's only yidden, b'shishim. Then you use batul b'shishim. Says the Gemara story, Hanu at mahasa demlichu bei Reish Gulusa. Reish Galus, the head of the nation, very wealthy person, he had geshmaka thighs, and these thighs were salted. Now here's the question. We said if a thigh is cooked, if you cook a thigh with the Gidan Nasha, what's the halacha? It's a big problem. If you can taste it, no good. What if you didn't cook it? You put salt on it. Is salt like cooking? So says the Gemara, Mar bar Ravashi. They asked Mar, the son of Ravashi. Omerlu Abba Shari. So who's Mar bar Ravashi's father? Ravashi. The famous Ravashi who wrote the Gemara. He authored the Gemara. Ravina Ravashi wrote the Gemara. She says, my father said it's no good. Oh, sorry, it's good. Omerlu Abba Shari, it's good. You see, the item was paying attention. Omerlu Ravacha barav l'Ravina. My daitach. So let me just say it again. Ravina Osar. Ravina said it's Osar. Ravacha bar Ravashi Shari. Ravacha the name said it's Mutter. Osar Shelu Mar bar Ravashi Omerlu Abba Shari. My father said it's okay. Omerlu Ravacha barav l'Ravina. Ravina is the one that said that if you salt it, it's no good. My daitach. What's the reasoning? Shmuel Meliach Hareu Kireteach. Kavush Hareu Kimevushel. Very simple. You see this piece of meat on the right? What is that? That's salted. What halacha does salt have? It's like boiled. What does boiled mean? Cooked, not cooked? So I'll tell you. Here, look at the next case. If you put meat in water, it becomes kavush, becomes pickled, and it has a halacha of mevushel. So now let me ask you something. If I put salt on a piece of meat, what halacha does it have? Is it cooked? How do you know? Because it doesn't say mevushel. It says a different word. It says riteach. If putting salt on a piece of meat has the same halacha as cooking, so just say cooking equals cooking. On kavush, it says it's cooking, not a meliach. So that's a raya that our case, what happened in our case? He put salt on the thigh. It's a raya that's not cooked. It doesn't have a problem of being cooked. When you salt something, it's like boiling it. In other words, it's not so much cooking it. Remember, we started off the shir. Shmuel says that the whole mission of Gidan Nasha, of ruining the rest of the meat,
Shemizbashelba, that I cooked in it. Aval nitzlaba, if it was roasted, and I told you then about the korban pesach. All you do is cut it off and you eat it. Just don't eat the gid anasha. So Mela, you see, Shmuel says, in order for the gid anasha to be a problem, it has to be cooked. Not cooked is not a problem. So Mela, riteach is not a problem. Only mevushal is a problem. But what are you going to tell me? That maybe riteach means cooked. And that the Gemara says it can't be, because if you look at this chart, you don't have to look at the chart, it's obvious. Once the Gemara mentions the word mevushal, so the other one should have said mevushal. Why are you calling it riteach? Riteach means something different than mevushal. Only mevushal is a problem, riteach is not a problem. Obviously, he meant to say that meliach is not mevushal. Otherwise, he would have said meliach equals mevushal, kavush equals mevushal. Or easier, he would have said meliach and kavush equal mevushal. Why does he stick in a word that's different than mevushal and he calls it riteach? Obviously, it's different. Kasha. Fine. Omar Rav Chanina, how many minutes are we? I don't have a clock here. 45. Okay, we're doing okay. Okay. Zog the Gemara. Omar Rav Chanina, K'sheim Misharin, when they try to figure out if something's batal b'roiv, it's a good kasha. Think about it. You have a chont. One piece of meat this big fell into your pot of chont. So now the Rav tells you, check if it's 60 times. What? The beblech also? The potatoes? The meat? What? What's 60 times? I have a piece of meat that fell in it. Treif, chazer, fell in, poof. Now, 60 what? I'm going to take out 60 pieces of meat, or can I use potatoes also? If I can use potatoes, can I use beans also? Yeah. What about the gravy? What about the soup in the chont? Now, a bigger question. What about the pot? Chiddush. That's why I asked you, because you're saying no. Because if I would have read it, you said, okay, yeah, if I did, now you're thinking about it. Oh, it doesn't make sense. Says the Gemara, Kishay Misharim Beroitev, with the gravy, Uba Kefa, Uba Chatichos, all the small things that fall to the bottom, and the big pieces, Uba Gdeira, with the pot. So now we have two pirushim in it. What does pot mean? Because pot it almost doesn't make sense. Yeah, if the pot weighs, it's like it doesn't go by weight, it goes by volume. So let's say it's the volume of, give me a number, I don't know. The whole pot, the whole metal and everything is like this volume. So it adds up to part of the chont, to the kosher chont. That's one shot. No, you can't use the metal, but you could use the blias. What's the blia? What the absorbed. So you start off the chont with a liter of chont, and then you open up the pot. Now you have 3/4 of a liter. What happened to the other liter, the quarter? Some of it went into the walls. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to say, no, I have a whole liter of chont now against that one piece of chazer, the one piece of, I don't want to call it chazer, the one piece of nevela, and you have 60. Why? Because in the pot, there's something that got absorbed in there. I'm not using the metal. I'm using the chont that's in the walls of the pot. When you're talking about blood, you're talking about all these surim in the Torah. If I want to taste it, I want to know if it has the taste. It's nice and time, not nice and time. I have to use these two fruits and vegetables. I can't use an apple, which is sweet. I'm going to use something in the middle. Mamash just recently, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, I used a knife that my wife cut onions like 10 minutes before, I didn't know, and I cut like an apple with it. Like Mamash, you taste the onion, and it was clean. No, it wasn't clean. It was there. You know what I'm talking about? That taste of onion. The Gemara always talks about. We're not going into that now. But what fruit did I use as a simon, as a taste? And I say, oh, I could taste it, or I can't taste it. There's 60 times more, or 50 times more, but I can't taste it. I'm going to use ki'ilu, it's an onion. Because the onion is pretty sharp, but it's not the sharpest thing in the world, but it's not a sweet thing. It's like, it's ganz fine. It has a nice kick to it. So these two fruits over here, the kafloit and a bottle. I don't know, how do you say kafloit in English? Leek, very good. Leek, very good. At least that's what it shows in the picture. I don't understand. Why don't you use a hot pepper? So if you put this little hot pepper in a giant pot, what happens? And this peppers, let's say arla, revai, chvaisos, the whole thing becomes, you can't get out of it, because no matter whoever tastes is going to taste the little pepper. So so why are you using an onion? Use pepper. Says the Gemara, no. Even 1,000 times the amount of the pepper is not batal. All these surim in the Torah, you have blood, you have this, that. Nothing is severe as an onion. Onion is the strongest taste. You don't have to go crazy to a million Scoville, 2 million Scoville. So if I'm counting, this is not a chiddush at all, right? Here, look at this. You have the gid laying on there on the top of the pot. You need 60 times the amount of chont versus the one gid, not 59. In other words, you can't use the gid as the 60. What would be the havamina b'chlal? Gid is osir, the chont is mutter. So the havamina is not so much the havamina, but the next case. Not this case. Okay. The same thing with the egg, but here's a morid sugya. This is super interesting. There's something called a chal. I don't know how to say it in English, like an udder. Yeah, but it's the whole. The Akash Baruch Hu made that, we know cow makes milk. We drink the milk. Here, take a look at this. That's all our artists did this from scratch. Yeah, it's not a joke. I asked for it and I got it. Okay, what's going on here? We have basar b'chalav here, basically. This is the real basar b'chalav. But you're allowed to eat the udder. You're allowed to eat the chal if you take out the milk. But what if you don't take out the milk? What if you cooked the chal with the milk? Yeah. What if you cooked it inside? So what are you going to do? So says the Gemara like this: you need 60 times. You're allowed to eat the chal. I want to eat chal. It's good stuff. I can't afford a steak. I eat chal. By mistake, my wife didn't chop. She didn't cut it the way she was supposed to. Cut it this way, that way. Squeeze out the milk. She put it into the pot like this. So if I have 60 times the amount of chal than milk, then I'm okay. But over here, the chal is a good thing. It's a good guy. I want to eat him. So I can use him as part of the 60. Before, we were talking about the gid. I don't want to eat the gid. The gid is a bad guy. So the gid can't be part of the 60. I need 60 good people, good things, 60 good pieces of meat. So obviously the gid is not going to be one of them. But over here, I need 60 good pieces of meat, and the chal is a good piece of meat. So meila, chal, b'shishim, chal min aminyan. Does he have a picture here? Yeah. Here's the chal. But that's, let me stop for a second, because the Gemara explains in a second. Beitza, what about an egg? The same thing as a gid. You have an egg of a eagle, a tamei bird that fell into a whole pot of, these Moroccans, they make chont with eggs. 60 kosher chicken eggs, 1 eagle egg. And it's okay, but not 59 eggs. You can't use the non-kosher egg as one of the 60. He's the bad guy. I need 60 good guys. Almost done here. Only like 6 more lines. You should know that the chal itself you're not allowed to eat. Why? Because the chal, listen to this, the chal itself has some milk in it, and you cooked it in a big pot with other meat. The flavor of the meat goes into the milk that's in the chal. And when I eat my chal, I'm going to eat milk that has a little flesh in it. And that's a problem. So here's a video. I hope you can understand it from this video. Yoshi did this. The milk kind of goes out over here, and there's meat over there that comes off, so fine. But the flavor of the meat goes back into the milk that's in the chal. And memela, I can't eat the chal. So says the Gemara, and if this piece of chal, this piece that you see over here, that's the white piece, yeah, this guy, if it falls into another pot with other meat, it's also. Omer Ravashi, Kavinu be Rav Kahana, Iboilon, so Rav Kahana asked, Kimisharinon, when I check out this bottle b'shishim, something 60, b'didei b'sharinon, do I look at the meat part of the chal of the udder, or I look at the milk? What do I need 60? Sharina. Says, well, pshita b'didei b'sharinon. Obviously, I look at the meat of the chal, because if I'm going to look at the milk that comes out of it, how do I know how much milk left the chal? In other words, the milk comes out, and I don't know how much it is in there. If all the milk came out of this udder, So then why is the Chal itself also? It all came out. So the Gemara, I'll tell you why. Once we establish that the Chal itself is also, so you're right. It's the Rabbanan. Rabbanan said that this Chal has a halacha of an Avela. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDY.com.